Hey guys, today we are talking about debt. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Marianne. I live in Canada with my husband and two kids ages 3 and 4, and in today's video, we are talking about paying off debt. I could make a video of 100 things that we did, small changes, big changes that we did to pay off our debt. But in today's video, I'm gonna focus on 10 things, big things that we did, our kind of main shifts that we made in order to pay off our debt as quickly as possible. All right, guys, let's get into the tips. Okay, so the first and most obvious thing we did was we cut our expenses. So when we started, we did have a budget already. However, it wasn't the budget that was gonna help us pay off our debt. So if you don't have a budget at all, I would recommend it. That's kind of an easy, good place to get started. And this is an easy way to kind of find holes in your budget. I will never forget when we calculated how much we spent on just like fun money or entertainment. And we weren't even living like a wild, crazy life or anything. We weren't going on lavish vacations or anything. This was just kind of money that we spent without even thinking. So like a little too much takeout, going out to eat. We just figured, you know, if our friends or peers are doing these same things and they kind of have same jobs, same lifestyle, we should be able to afford them as well. So we kind of just went along for the ride. So first we looked at our variable expenses, entertainment, groceries, gifts, anything that's kind of easy for you to manipulate to kind of change immediately to kind of get the momentum started. Once we looked at those, we secondly looked at our fixed expenses. So this is things like our insurance, our cable, our phone bills. Is there any way you can cut your like usage on your phone, anything like that? Even big things like cars, your car payments. Do you want to downsize your car? Are you in a situation where you might want to downsize your home? Are you paying a lot of rent? Anything like that, those big ones can make a huge difference sometimes. I also want to mention that we trimmed our expenses more and more every month. It's not like we just walked in day one and cut everything by 75%. So don't think right off the bat that you have to completely change your lifestyle. That might be a bit of a shock to the system. Every single month, we just got better and better at it. We got practice at it, you know, kind of living differently and prioritizing differently. And so over time, those expenses just kind of naturally went down and down and down. Number 2, we combined our finances. So this one won't work for everyone, but for us, it made a huge difference. When we first started, all of our expenses were separate. So we had like separate bank accounts, separate credit cards, everything separate. So when we changed that and we combined everything into one and everything was shared, a few things happened. One, it was so much more practical. I was not constantly having to do transfers and track this and who paid for this and who paid for that. That was driving me crazy. And we were paying double bank fees on everything. So from a practical standpoint, that was super helpful. Secondly, when we combined our finances, we could instantly see how much more of an impact we could have when we combined everything. So, you know, $50 here and there on our own was okay. But when we all of a sudden combined things and could potentially save or make it extra hundreds of dollars every single month, that was huge. And that was like a huge motivator too. Lastly, joining our finances completely shifted how we saw things together. So we became way more of a team. Instead of it being his or hers or yours or mine, it became ours. Our setbacks we shared together, our successes we shared together. Everything was a joint force. We weren't pointing fingers anymore or blaming anyone for anything. It was all a combined effort, and it was huge just for our finances, but also just for our marriage. It was amazing. We were so much happier. So again, not for everyone, but if you're on the fence about it or if you've ever considered it, it's worth a shot. For us, it was a game changer. Okay, number 3 is recreated goals. So there were kind of 2 separate types of goals. One was our kind of small goals that we did while we were paying off the debt. For example, you know, if we focus on 1 month, we want to commit to $3,000 going towards debt that month. And at the beginning, $3,000 in 1 month was a lot for us to go towards debt. So kind of another example was a no spend month. If you've never done it, Google it. You can do a no spend weekend, you can do a no spend week, anything like that. Just focusing on like over little month by month or week by month or pay period by pay period. Those type of goals can keep you motivated while you're paying off the debt. The second type of goal we had was kind of a longer term post debt goals. So these were things that maybe it was like a practical standpoint, or creating an emergency fund, retirement fund, anything that was going to happen after you were done paying off the debt. not only practical things, but fun things. We dreamed about, vacations we were gonna go on, different cars we were gonna buy, whatever's like fun for you. And with our vacations, we focus on exactly where we were gonna go, what we were gonna do when we were there, where we were gonna stay, what we were gonna eat, how long we were gonna stay, how much it was gonna cost. And we dreamt about that, and having those as goals was so motivating, especially in the really, really hard months. Number 4 is we did monthly check-ins or monthly like money meetings. So at the very beginning, every single month, we committed to sitting down together. Once the kids were in bed, we sat down at the kitchen table and we brought all the information. We have a set list of questions or information that we wanted to review together. We had it on the calendar and we never missed it. Doing these check-ins kept us not only on track, but it kept us like moving forward. So we found huge progress when we kind of got together and started checking in on things. So we would talk about what went wrong or right the month before, what we were anticipating spending for the future months, further expenses we could cut, So when we were meeting, we might say, you know what, my subscription for my satellite radio comes up this month and I don't think I'm gonna renew it. I don't really use it that much, and that's gonna be an extra $20 per month that we're gonna have. Or, you know what, it's summertime now. I don't think I need the gym membership. I'm just gonna go for runs outside and that's gonna work for me, and that's gonna save us $50 a month for the next 5 months. They don't have to be long. The meetings don't have to be painful. If you really dread the meetings, or if your partner does, having something to motivate you to sit down at the table, like pizza or your favorite drink or whatever it is, just to get you there, because once you're sitting and chatting about it, you're gonna naturally just make progress. Number 5 is we got super creative. So it is amazing what you can come up with when you have less resources, and in our case, less money. At the beginning, we kind of got frustrated. We weren't able to do as much fun stuff. We felt like we were missing out on stuff, but with some practice, we got super creative and we found so many inexpensive or free activities to do. We would research all free community events to go with the kids, every free beach, every park we would visit, and we made these little free activities, we made them into something. We would take a treat with us, somehow make it special, so it didn't feel like you were sacrificing and missing out and giving up everything. A good example is that Scott loves to golf, which is obviously a really expensive sport. At the beginning, he would just kind of stop going for a bit, would only go a couple times a year. And then we realized that our insurance broker actually has free tee times for clients, which was us, and it was at a really nice local course, and that was such a game changer for him. So any kind of area, anything where you feel like you could get really creative, if you're super into DIY for gifts, anything like that, it can actually turn out to be pretty fun. Number 6, we treated our debt like an emergency. There is no one outside of you and your family who really cares if you pay off your debt. If you're making minimum payments, the banks do not care. The credit card companies love you to make minimum payments. So other than me, I care, and yourselves, you really have to find a way to make it feel like an emergency. For us, it was so easy because our kids were really little, like babies. We had this huge debt, and if anything were to happen to either of us or one of us, they would be left in the lurch, no backup if anything happened. So that was such an easy shift for us to think, okay, this is a priority, this is an emergency, and we need to get on it now. So think of your own life, and is there anything that could make it feel really urgent? Add that sense of urgency to it. It's gonna just propel you forward. Number 7, other side of the coin is to make your plan realistic. Yes, this is an emergency. Yes, you want this gone as soon as possible. However, if it's a big amount, then chances are it's gonna take a little while. We knew that this was gonna be long term, and we knew that there were certain things we just couldn't live without. So we were gonna have to feed and clothe our children, but we also knew we wanted to go on a date night now and then. So you want to make it an emergency and you want to have a sense of urgency, but you also want to make it realistic because you want to make something that you will stick with for the long haul until the debt is completely paid off. So know yourself and know that if guitar lessons are absolute necessity to you, no judgment. You keep going with those guitar lessons. If you feel like you have to swim every single morning for your mental health, I completely support that. And just remind yourself of what's important and what's not important. Number 8 is we increased our income. We work for traditional employers. We work off a salary, so there's no really opportunity for extra income in terms of overtime and things like that. But if there is for you, that's amazing. That's a quick, easy way to get extra cash. For us, there was 2 kind of things that we focus on mainly. One is side jobs for Scott. So he is an electrician. He does work for a traditional employer, but then on the weekends, he does often get requests from friends and family to do small side electrical jobs. And secondly was selling our old stuff. So if you have any interest in selling your old stuff, it's a huge money maker. We made hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars over the course of the 2 years on our old stuff. Any old things we had in the house that we were no longer using or no longer loved or no longer needed, we just posted them for sale. You get really good at knowing kind of what items sell and how best to sell them. This year, for example, alone, we're on month 5. We have made well over $1,000 already, and we don't even have a lot of clutter. Our house is already really simple. So if you have a lot of stuff laying around, this can be a huge, huge money maker. And if you're interested at all, I would definitely give it a shot. Number 9, we learn to wait or live without. It is embarrassing how terrible we were at this at the beginning. Like I said, we weren't living this wild, lavish lifestyle at all. However, when we wanted something, we typically just bought it. The big thing that got us started with this was probably doing our no spend month. Having just that set amount of time where you're not purchasing, you're not buying extra things, you all of a sudden realize how easy it is to live without all the stuff that you thought you always needed. Over the course of 2 years, our life spending has completely changed. Our way of looking at money has completely changed, and all for the better. And the best part is this is a habit that's gonna serve you for years to come. So we've finished paying off our debt almost 6 months ago. And honestly, since we finished paying off our debt, our spending hasn't really changed. Instead of focusing on paying off debt, we're now focusing on savings, but we didn't just all of a sudden go back to living beyond our means. Once you've really changed and shifted your whole life and your whole mindset around it, it's impossible to go back. And we now, when we need something, we can borrow it, or we buy secondhand, or we wait until the next month, or we wait until the next year, or we just go without. And honestly, we rarely feel as if we're sacrificing or living without. Okay, number 10. Do not compare yourself to others. Stop, stop, stop. There is nothing like comparison to completely take the joy out of something. If you're in the middle of paying off debt, you are working so hard and you are doing an amazing job. You have no idea what's going on in other people's lives. That pool they're putting in or that trip they're going on, that could be on their credit card and they may be paying off for the next 5 years. Don't worry about what they're up to. It doesn't matter anyway. All that matters is what's best for the future of your life and your family, moving forward with your priorities and what feels good for you. As much as humanly possible, put those blinders on, stay in your lane, and just focus on you. Okay guys, those are my 10 tips. I really genuinely hope that they helped you. If you are in the middle of paying off debt, you are doing an amazing job. I know how hard it is. I have been there. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you know someone who's struggling, please share this video with them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.